Buck Winchester, standing in the guild hall of the Tal'Kuri Enclave. Stood with your pal, Sven Eichen. They are dragging along the barely conscious Sam Tully. He is currently positioned on a chair, one eye swollen shut, bleeding quite profusely from the mouth, one of his ears, and the gut. Standing behind Sam Tully is the mysterious Whisper, and a few other members of the Tal'Kuri are nearby. Their captain and the mysterious individual referred to as Nighthawk are watching on from a decent distance away. There seems to be a mixed response to having an outsider in the space before this interrogation occurs. But Nighthawk does not seem concerned about your presence for one reason or another. As Sven removes his large fur coat, revealing that bear tattoo, pulling the very ink over the top of his head, as if to wear the bear's pelt. He roars and digs his hands into Sam Tully's gut wound, as Sam releases a frenzied and panicked scream. Whisper will similarly dig his fingers both into one of Sam's shoulder blades and places the other one on the side of his head. And you see a dull blue light beginning to pulse on the side of Sam Tully's face. You can see blood vessels and the heavy bruising on his face. You can see every heartbeat, frantic and panicked as it is. Sven will turn to you. I have bargained for you to get the first question. Choose it wisely.
Appreciate that, sir. All right, Sammy. So where'd they take Maria?
I don't know. I don't know where she is.
I'll unholster my revolver, and I'm going to empty out, and I'll kind of like, as I'm emptying it, I'm going to make it very obvious to kind of do like a little sleight of hand. I'll empty out all 6 bullets and let them clant onto the floor, and I'll pull out what looks to be a bullet, but it's just an empty shell casing. I'll put it in, and I'll kind of flick it, and I'll just sit there and hold him, and like, I'm going to go ahead and let Sven ask you whatever he needs to, and afterwards we'll play a little game. Hopefully you're a gambling man.
You know me. Always chasing the next win. The being known as Nighthawk just shakes their head and says something in some language to the captain in the corner. Whisper will pull Sam Tully's shirt aside, and you see branded into his flesh, down probably about a quarter of his torso, is an enormous searing scar that looks relatively fresh. And every time Sam goes to open his mouth, that brand flares as though it's like white hot and burning again. Written all around the circle of this, in Sidron, is Pandemonium Regnant. As someone who speaks Sidron, it means either all is demon or all is chaos, depending on your translation. Sven, keeping one hand in the fresh gut wound, takes the other and produces a wicked-looking, almost bear claw, and just begins to trace the brand. Where did you get this brand, Mr. Tully? As he's slowly carving open the brand, it is searing itself back shut, as Sam lets out another series of wicked screams. Everybody else, give me an awareness test.
I got a natural 20.
Nice.
+5 with my mastery.
Good lord. All right, Faraday.
Let's go,
I
Faraday.
didn't do as well as that.
Okay. Adelaide or Callum, whoever did that well, you hear like what sounds like a raucous party going on. It's kind of hard to, you're just like, oh, somebody screaming. T, something's up. Something's a little funky. You're hearing a lot of screaming, and the intonation of it to you is very off-putting. It's very unsettling. Someone is having a rough time. Faraday, the sounds you're hearing, the last time you've heard anything like this would have been in Hakmanawan.
I guess I would get up.
Okay.
and I would at least go to the main tavern area and check. I'm gonna check for and make sure everybody's here. Obviously, I see Buck is gone,
Yes.
so I'm gonna get up and make my way to the tavern to check and see where Buck's at, to make sure none of our crew is getting tortured.
Yeah. No sign of Buck or the fellow that Buck was chatting with, or any of the people that walked in.
Did we see Buck leave?
No, we all went to bed. He
Yeah,
just stayed at
yeah.
the bar.
Okay,
Everyone
so
went
we're
to
all
bed
in
and
our
stayed.
separate
Yeah.
You
area.
guys would
We're
be
in
in
our
your
guild
guild
hall.
hall.
Yeah.
We don't
And it's
have
just an
rooms.
open
Yes.
space.
Yeah.
Okay.
The guild hall is like a longhouse.
Like a big bunk.
So
Right.
by waking up in the guild hall, it's very obvious immediately who is or is not where they should be.
Okay. So then I will. Obviously, I can hear it. I'm gonna look at Faraday and be like, "Do you also hear the screaming?"
Yes, it's bringing back PTSD from when I was young. Somebody might die.
That checks out.
I'm gonna take a look.
Okay. We'll come back to that.
I'll follow you.
As the interrogation of Sam Tully continues, Whisper will whisper. He doesn't have many more answers. As Sven will remove his hand from Tully's gut. Care to try again? He doesn't seem too talkative with me.
Oh, I got plenty. And I'll get up like very calmly, and I'll take off my little duster jacket, and I'll hang it out on like a chair, and I'll just give the revolver a spin, and I'll hold it to his forehead, and I'll say, "Who issued the order, or who'd you give the information to?"
Bill Winchester. And that brand sears even hotter. He lets out another loud scream.
Buck will kind of like look confused, and like, and he'll kind of like look over at Sven, see if Sven got like any sort of like reaction to the name at either.
Just
Over his head too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna kind of like stutter back a little bit, and he'll push the barrel into his skull and been like, "Not a fan of that answer." And Buck will pull the trigger, and of course it's gonna.
Where is Rikyov? Sam. He roars out, "To the south!" And that brand burns even hotter. And it goes from like white hot to almost blue. And there's just like this weird black spread kind of coming out from there now. Which gives Faraday another
Tingle?
ping of where to head. If you
Okay.
guys want to be sneaky, I'll have you roll stealth now.
Yes, I would like to be sneaky.
Can I also do an intuition check to see if the voice is Buck or
Yeah.
somebody else's?
Yeah. That would be so awful.
I got.
What a way to find
Oh.
out.
The intuition check was 2, so
Okay.
I'm not gonna.
Hard to
break it.
tell when someone's screaming, to
Yeah.
be fair.
And then I'll do a stealth check.
I got
Okay.
17 on my stealth.
I only got
Okay.
5 on my stealth.
Yeah, as he screams out to the south and the brand gets worse, Whisper goes, "He doesn't have much longer. Choose your questions better."
Where's the admiral?
I don't know! And that necrotic pulse kind of gets ever closer to where his heart is.
I'll toss it back over to Sven.
Okay. The Nighthawk will walk closer. Pulls a coin out of one of their pouches. Places it in the middle of Sam Tully's forehead. "Who do you pray to, Mr. Tully?" Sam's eyes go wide before they roll back in his head. And his body goes pale. And that coin turns an awful sickly green. She'll wrap a gloved hand around that green coin and drop it into a different pouch and seal it. "Burn the body. We're done here." Which, as she turns to you in Sam's voice, "Who's this admiral you're so curious about?"
He's the leader of that Hellkite Legionnaire. Something that Sammy and I were a part of, and I'll kind of unintentionally do a quick like look over at Sven, but back to.
You think Tully was a Hellkite?
Didn't seem good enough, but maybe.
You think that's why we brought him in?
I care less why you brought him in.
Who are you?
Person looking for his wife.
I can respect that. We've all lost people. Who was she?
My wife.
Beyond that,
Friend. Companion. I don't know why that matters.
you're an odd one.
Been told that
So-
once or twice.
So driven, but so rudderless. Tully shot 6 of Duquesne's men. We want to know why.
Probably got hired by somebody to do it. I don't know. But that's your guys' thing. I appreciate the time.
In Maria's voice? I hope you find her.
Yeah. Buck, that got me. I was like, yeah, Buck will kind of, as he's kind of going to turn, he'll kind of just stop and he'll just look back and being like, do that again and I'll put one between your eyes.
You wouldn't shoot her, would you?
Now I'm just going to look at Sven and I'll pick up the bullets and be like, thank you.
He'll just put a hand on your shoulder and be like, it's not worth it.
Yeah, and I'll scoop him up and I'll give him a nod and a pat on the hand and I'll storm out.
Okay. On your way out, you'll see the captain drop a substantial amount of coin into Sven's hands and send him out as well.
Yeah, I'll make my way back to everybody.
Okay. Faraday and T, as you're walking down the rows and rows of guild halls, you'll see about 200 feet down the lane. Buck comes storming out of a room. A couple seconds later, that large fella he was talking at the bar comes out and they go separate ways.
I'm going to make my way back to the guild hall. Our
Okay.
guild hall.
Yeah. As you're kind of walking with your head down, you'll see Faraday, like, skulking. But he don't see you.
I'm not
Your roll
staying
was
hidden.
better than 8.
I'm not going to pay any attention. I'm just going to
Yeah.
walk straight back.
Okay.
Seeing which direction Buck is going, I'm going to try and just follow Sven for a little bit. I just want to see where he's heading.
Okay.
I'm going to stop in my tracks and watch Buck just walk right by. I'm going to be more curious as to what Buck was doing, knowing where he came from.
Yeah. You both were. It was easy enough to see which building they walked out of. If that's where you're headed,
Okay.
you will know which building they came out of.
Okay.
But if you want to follow Sven,
Yes.
Sven doesn't go too far, but does leave the Guildhall district and heads himself towards a different tavern, where he will walk in, post up, and order himself several very strong drinks.
What's the name of the tavern?
The Crooked Skull.
I'm going to start following Buck back.
Okay. I'm sneaking up to Faraday, and I'm
You're
just
sneaking
gonna
up on
tap.
Faraday, sneaking up on Buck.
I'm
Just-
tapping on him. I'm gonna tap on your shoulder. Would you like to come with me to the building they came from?
Whatever was going down there wasn't good, and Buck was
No.
involved.
His friend. I followed his friend briefly, and he's gone to some other tavern.
Do you think it's worth it, or are we going to get ourselves into some danger?
I don't know.
All right, I'll follow closely behind you.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna approach the window first and try to hear.
Okay.
What's
From there,
going on?
it would be awareness tests
Okay.
for both of you. Both of you are able to hear two distinct voices. One of which speaks in what would be a heavy Carcassoan accent. But beyond that, they're both pretty deep voices. So it's kind of hard to tell who it would have been because you haven't heard most of those people speak. But what do you think he meant by not the right one? It does not matter if they are not the right one. What matters is if they find the right one. What do you think about that guy that was in here? I am not entirely sure what to make of him. He creeps me out with the tattoos. And his friend. Short temper on that one. Nighthawk has ordered round-the-clock watch. Before they find whoever they're looking for, we will find them, and we will put them down. I wish I shared your enthusiasm and confidence. Nighthawk hasn't led us astray so far. And what about the accident? That was a fluke. Not their fault. The weapon worked. Maybe too well. And then they seem to fall silent for a while. After a little bit, there's another higher voice that speaks very erratically and dips in and out of several octaves and ranges. Get the body out of here. We don't need it anymore. We got everything we need from him.
Okay. I am going to look at Faraday and just kind of signal or like whisper under my breath, like, I think we should go find the body and follow them where they dispose of it.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Walking out of the guild hall first is a 14-year-old dressed all in black.
Is it that girl?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. She'll
I
come
don't know if you
walking
were,
out
were you
first.
there? Yeah.
And kind of like she gives two quick barks into the building and then posts up and like sparks up a cigarette and no one else comes out. And is just kind of like dead staring at the two of you.
That's the same girl.
We should get going. I'll wait till 1 because I understand my own capabilities, and I will look at you if they have not come out, and I will tell you it's time to go, and I will start walking back.
I'll say in the 45 minutes or so that you guys spend watching, she goes through 4.5 cigarettes in that time, but makes no other effort to walk away, smoke them, do anything else, and doesn't ever stop keeping at least one eye on both of you.
All right, I'm going to head back.
Yeah.
Buck, anything you're doing before you turn in?
I'm pounding alcohol.
As they're gone for 40 extra minutes?
Yeah, no, I'm literally just sitting at the bar.
Mhm.
Probably, and the first one he's kind of just was holding like his, because I'm assuming it's glass. Like, okay, yeah, he's kind of just staring into like the whiskey glass and just kind of like swirling it around, staring at it. And he just is gripping the glass in a weird daze, and he just kind of like breaks it in his hand and kind of comes out of that realization. Apologies, and he'll order a couple more. He'll pay 2 gold for the inconvenience and the shattering of the glass, and then he'll just go up to bed.
Okay. Annette will clean your hand off, thinking that you've just had a few too many.
Yeah.
Kind of helps patch up get the glass out of your hand. And
Thank you.
morning comes. 3 of you awaken perfectly well rested. Adelaide, Callum, and Carol awakening after a beautiful night's sleep.
Yes.
Incredibly lovely evening for you.
Not haunted by the screams.
Nope.
I slept through 'em.
What
Yeah.
screams?
What are you talking about? You have night terrors? Oh, that sucks. Sorry to hear that. But along with sunrise, the day is yours, Signature 6. Where to? What to do?
I will
The day is yours.
I will get up and see if Buck is alone. Because I want to have a conversation with him what happened. Because I saw him leave. I just want to I mostly want to make sure he's good.
Oh, I'm having a little bit of brekkie.
So I'll sit down and I'll go. You good from last night?
Yeah. Pretty solid night's sleep. Can't complain.
Anything you need to share? I saw you leave. guild hall.
Yeah, I went with Sven to interrogate an old comrade. Try to get some information about where my wife might be.
T and I were out sneaking around. And,
Oh, I saw you.
And did you get any information on our goals?
Apparently some gentleman by the name of Bill Winchester ordered the capture of my wife and probably my death.
A relative?
Not one that I know of. Sven asked a couple of questions about some dude named Rikyov or some another.
Why would they ask an old friend that you would know where Rikyov is?
No, my friend asked him where Rikyov was.
Guess, but why would this person that was being interrogated know about Rikyov?
I don't know. That wasn't my concern.
Can we use names? I'm getting confused by your friend, my friend, the guy.
That's fair. No, my friend Sven was asking the old comrade, his name is Sam, about where Rikyov was, and apparently he's somewhere in the south. Why he's asking that question, I don't know. I don't care. I don't care about Rikyov. I don't know who Rikyov is. Whatever. I went there to ask my questions. When I got what I needed, I left.
Is Sven a trusted person?
He's more family than my actual family.
So he was there for probably noble reasons.
Yeah, I don't doubt it one bit. I've taken plenty of bullets for that man, and I'll kind of like lift up my shirt, and you'll see probably a couple bullet hole wounds, and he's done the same.
We heard them say dispose of the body. Was the person that was interrogated killed?
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't kill him. Wanted to.
Did you know this person?
Mm-hmm. Served in the same company. If it was up to me, I would have put a bullet in his head, but there was 14-2. Didn't like my odds.
14?
Well, there's
The
14.
two, you and Sven, and
Mhm.
Sam and 13 others?
No. 14 of the other company.
Who else were you with?
Some people with like a skull head banner thing. I don't know. Big dude, a metal arm.
We noticed the girl that we saved.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She was in there.
Was this the same company that we ran into
On the railroad.
on the railway?
Seems like it, just underneath a different banner.
Do you think this group is bad, or do you think they might be more of an ally?
From my expertise, they're probably just wherever the gold is. So for the right coin, they'll probably be on anybody's side, but they'll flip just as fast.
This Rikyov character does sound dangerous. Did they tell you where he was at?
Just in the south.
That's where my family or my last village is, right in the south.
In a vast geographical sense, yes.
Okay.
But there's many places like city or like
There's
towns
an
and
awful
stuff
lot
like that,
to
yeah.
the south.
Okay.
But the furthest south that is civilized
Uh-huh.
to anybody other than Faraday would be where you guys were, Ravensong Station.
Okay. We did overhear them talking about you guys, you and Sven. They're not quite sure what to make of Sven, but they say you have a short temper.
No, not wrong.
We didn't piss them off, did you?
Threw a couple threats here and there, but when don't I?
Okay. We'll deal with it when the time comes.
Oh, I plan on finding one of them one way or another at some point, so if I don't find them, they'll definitely find me, and that just makes my job 10 times easier.
So I was really tired yesterday, and I'm not sure if I slept through an entire day, because a lot of what everyone's saying sounds really unfamiliar. Did I miss something?
I had a talk with an old acquaintance, so I'll let you miss that later.
I'm sorry. Why are you talking to me? Buck, could you please inform the speaker that I'm not interested?
Met up with an old colleague. Then we went with that group of 14 people to ask another individual that me and him both knew some questions. This was in the middle of the night, so that's when all this kind of happened.
Everyone was there for this?
No, just me.
T and I were sneaking around, but this is well after Buck had left.
I called it an early night too. I'm going to take off this magnifying glass I have and pull out some of these little, there's like little wood pieces that are like a conductor for the train. And I actually whittled together one for each of you.
What?
Yeah, so they're like really detailed and ornate.
So this is what you do when you disappear.
You know, I thought it was good for the team morale.
This is the kind of day I remember yesterday being.
I appreciate the kind gesture, Dr. Carroll.
Pleasure. Do we have a
I'm
lead
gonna
on
put
where
it
we're
in
going
my
next?
items.
Well, that was going to be my next question to the gentleman, but they ended up killing him before I got to that. So our next best lead is that these Hellkites. I'll get you, Dr. Carroll, up to speed on the road when we get going, but probably hitting that railroad just to the northwest direction, right, is where all that stuff is happening.
Don't we need to talk to somebody at Sinclair to get
Yes.
sponsor?
Yes.
Away. But yeah, we need to take the rail train to the northwest, right? Or does it just
We
go
need to go
straight north?
find Ingrid.
Ingrid.
Ingrid at Sinclair.
Yes. Ingrid at Sinclair.
My brother Lachlan
is
wrote a
from the
letter.
Lachlan
Oh.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, shall we go pay Ingrid a visit and maybe get this train fully fixed and get on the road?
No time like the present, unless you all got anywhere else to be.
I mean, I just built a whole train set for my friend here. He goes to-
No, Buck's doing this.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going like he actually appreciates the gesture. He's like, this is actually super cool.
You guys are all like playing with the train. So what do we want to do today?
Is the railway fully built? Or are we...
I mean, it's not like all the way
It's
around,
not-
but it could go back and forth.
Yeah, I've got some prototypes going. Yeah.
Sweet.
We'll give
I
it
haven't
a
built out the tunnel yet.
It's got to have a tunnel. Required.
Secret tunnel.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sounds great. Let's go find this Ingrid.
All right, as you guys make your way up to Sinclair's offices, up in the Hammers, the office you were in the first time was a very, very humble space. Nothing too ostentatious, but that is out in the rail yard where you guys acquired your rail wraith. Looking to get you a sponsorship would take you to a literal, like, big brick building with the Sinclair logo out front. But as you walk in, you'll see a young man kind of posted up behind a desk, kind of looks up. He's got these big Coke bottle lenses. Hello, welcome to Sinclair offices. What can I do for you today? Do you have an appointment or?
Greetings. No, we don't have an appointment. We're here to see Ingrid.
Oh, okay.
We were sent here to talk with her.
Oh, great. Please give me just a moment. I'll have someone fetch Ingrid for you, and he'll kind of whisper into his desk, and this teeny tiny, almost like iridescent gecko just he goes, would you please go and fetch Ingrid for me? And just kind of skitters off. Goes, it won't be more than a few minutes if you want to have a seat or something.
What was that delightful little creature?
Oh, that's he's a Crobelisk. It's a new friend of mine. He eats the crackers I keep in the second drawer of the desk.
Mm. Did you meet him here in the building?
Yeah, I found him eating the crackers.
I haven't seen that particular kind of Riftkin before.
He's the only one I've seen.
He's very cute looking.
Yeah, he keeps all the pests out as well, and he works for crackers, so that's a win.
It sounds like an amicable relationship you have with him. Does he have a name?
Well, for now, I've been calling him Rudy.
Well, Rudy is a delight.
I certainly think so.
I'm taking notes while he's answering questions.
Yeah,
About Rudy.
of course. Yeah, as he kind of like skitters back along the walls and then like kind of back up into the second desk, he just kind of sits, two little gecko hands to his little head.
I will take out some calipers and take some measurements if Rudy allows.
Rudy doesn't seem to mind.
Okay.
He just
I'm just taking notes.
after a few moments, a It was a 30-something lady will come walking around the corner in a nice suit. I'm told someone's looking for me.
Aye, that's us. Yes, hello, Adelaide Mackenzie. My brother Lachlan says hello.
You must be Lachlan's little sister.
Aye, it's true.
Yes, we heard you may be stopping by. Rumors of perhaps seeking a sponsorship.
I'll look at the rest of the crew. Aye, we've been completing jobs as a guild, but it's been difficult to get around, and we are looking for a mode of transportation.
Yes, I've heard. I've heard you're the ones that brought our wayward train back from Ravensong.
It's true, yes.
Well, let me extend a formal thank you from Sinclair for your assistance in that matter.
No trouble at all. I believe we were ahead of schedule and under budget as well.
That was the rumor around town, is that you are all quite capable of getting things done. And of course, Lachlan speaks very positively of you. So, let's talk business. Come to my office. We'll have a chat. She will walk you through the sort of brick maze and then towards the back of the building into her office. Yeah, on her desk is just a series of files and such. The most recent of which has the Signature 6 sort of pact agreement that you guys signed. So, how can Sinclair help the Signature 6?
Well, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that we are looking for a train that we can use for various requests and missions. Ideally in some kind of capacity where we can pay it off at some point and own it ourselves.
Yeah, that is certainly something we can come to an agreement on. As I understand it, you purchased the Rail Wraith as part of your payment.
Aye.
We have no use for a damaged locomotive that only functions with that particular Rail Wraith, so I'm sure we can work something out there. Otherwise, standard going rates for a Sinclair sponsorship is 20% cut of any mission that you undertake in our name, and we'll handle minute financial details day to day. You'll be fitted with trolley passes, so you won't be nickel and dimed at the train stations within the city. And should you need any more substantial repairs, Sinclair is happy to cover some of that cost.
Is there a contract we can review, like a physical something to read, or is this
Oh, of
just we
course.
discuss and shake hands and...
Oh, no, we keep everything in paperwork. We love our paper trails here at Sinclair.
Yeah, I'd obviously like to review with... We'd like to review it with our lawyer.
Carol's like, let's have a look here. Yeah. The long and short of the contract is Sinclair will take a 20% cut of any job that you do. Incumbent in that is when you sign up for a job, Gavrilo will bring over the missive, work out the details for it. If you were to be paid $1,000, they would take.
We still choose the job, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
You do whatever you want to do, and then Sinclair will take a cut of it, and in return, you will be granted a few extra permissions that you normally wouldn't have. So, free trolley travel, so you're not getting, copper and silver pieces to just go to the Hammers District in 10 minutes. So you could just do that now.
Okay.
Incumbent with that, you can be out past dark if there were to be a curfew. You can be out on Sinclair business. Flip side of that, if you are caught doing illegal things under Sinclair's name,
Right.
that could jeopardize your contract.
Sure. Ingrid. Dr. Carroll. We've already been the talk of the town pretty much since we got here. We've done good work, delivered on time. Everybody loves us. I think 20% is a little high. Got some room there? Maybe, say 10%?
Make an influence.
Let's go!
You brought that down a lot farther than I thought you would.
12.
12?
Oh, plus?
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 Oh,
Do you have mastery?
Mastery?
Come on!
plus what? Plus mastery?
Roll that d6, baby.
Do it.
6. Oh, 18, 19? 19.
Well, we typically can't go that low for a newer free company, but because you asked so nicely, I'll drop it down to 16%.
I love it, Ingrid.
Ingrid, do you guys have a private job board that we can pull from for more money?
We do. As you continue to prove yourselves, we will approach you with things of a perhaps more private nature that need to be handled discreetly.
Sounds good.
Is there some kind of Sinclair train graveyard metal supply where you recycle parts for like a broken train to a newer train?
Yes. Yes, we have we lovingly call it the graveyard.
Would we
Right.
be able to get access to that in terms of doing train repairs or other odd jobs?
Of course. As part of the Sinclair sponsorship, you would have access to all of our facilities.
Seems like a pretty good proposal. What do you guys think?
I'm in.
I think it's a great place to start right
It's a
now.
good deal.
Since we already have them in good favor.
No strings attached. Ingrid, we'd like to formally accept the offer.
Excellent. We'll just need a series of signatures from the Signature Six.
We're pretty good at that.
Well, as the Signature Six sign in for their Sinclair sponsorship. That was some good alliteration. Welcome aboard.
Choo choo.
Thank you very much.
Like to imagine that was in character.
Oh, it 100% was.
Choo choo.
The only thing Bucks really said the entire time.
You sign up, just go toot toot. Like you see, I did not see that coming at all.
Well, thank you very much. Lachlan was correct in you being the correct person to chat with. Very appreciative.
Well, I look forward to growing this partnership with the Signature Six.
Absolutely. Should we head out and earn us all some coin?
Get on getting on.
Adieu.
Send you on your way. On the way out, you'll see Rudy eating another cracker and also like a tiny cricket at the same time. Did you end up siding with Sinclair? Oh, that's great. Congratulations. Welcome to the team.
Aye, thank you. We'll be seeing you and Rudy around, I guess.
Oh, I look forward to it. I'm sure Rudy does as well.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Okay. Are we going to pick a job to do, or are we just heading out?
There's something on the way. I don't see why we can't kill two birds with one stone.
Should we repair the current train first? Or do we want to do that on our way back?
I think your rail wraith can just do it right now. I
Yeah,
mean,
he can.
Jump on
depending
in.
on where
Jump on
this graveyard is, maybe we can grab some scrap and can work on it while we're chugging along.
Yeah, to be totally honest, I figured we would do that in transit, but I was asking more for Faraday's mech suit idea and the miniature train that we have in development.
Train yard it is. Choo choo.
Choo choo.
Choo choo.
Signature Six new. That's the new call sign for the Signature. Instead of like, whoosh, it's choo choo. You know how we corporate types are. Choo choo indeed.
Now that we're officially contracted.
It's easy enough for you guys to find your train. It's not too far from the offices is where the train's being stored. If you were to bring the train to the junkyard, you could release Railwraith, and it would do the necessary repairs to itself to be able to put the train back together. That is part of what Railwraiths will do when they have a vessel. They will
What?
upkeep it and maintain it on their own as long as they have access to the scraps.
What a come up.
So if your
Right.
train's ever damaged, as long as you can get it to somewhere with scrap, Railwraith can fix it up.
How many cars do we have on this one? Do we still have that?
Right now you have You have your train
Yeah.
and like the coal car and nothing else.
Nothing else. Okay.
The
That's all
train
we
car
need.
you were riding back on was
What we were
used
delivering.
to
Yeah.
bring the weapons back.
So we need to get another car.
Yeah.
Would there be potentially a broken down car there that we could
So
attach
what
to
I'll
it?
what I'll throw for you
'Kay.
is there's a sort of run-down passenger car
Mm-hmm.
that you guys could suit up, and there is a flat car with no wheels. So as long as you could find enough wheels to put on there, you could store additional supplies for your journey. As long as you can strap them down.
Okay.
My vote's for the covered passenger car. 'Cause
We also want some storage because if we want to maybe potentially work on that mech and or Elicult brace while we're on,
the road, yeah.
we also don't want to take away from our ability to sleep in that car.
I would love a mobile lab. That would be so cool.
So should we grab both?
I mean, this one doesn't have
Yeah.
wheels.
We just got to find some wheels.
Everything in there is up for grabs, and I will occasionally just add some stuff to it and let you guys know.
everything.
We need this. This
So
will
would
be
we-
very useful.
Would we need to do like an intuition check or whatever to see if we can find some wheels, or is it just like available? Like
For that, it would just
Yard.
take you a little bit of time. If
Okay.
you guys are okay spending like 2-3 hours just suiting up the train, you can absolutely do that.
I think it's worth it for the long haul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For now, yeah. For now, there's a rundown passenger car that could be fixed up. The rail wraith won't handle the aesthetics of anything.
Mhm.
It will just keep the engine running.
okay.
So that part you won't have to
Gonna need
worry
some
about
paint.
as long as rail wraith is in there.
Want to do it?
So I guess we've already released the rail wraith. He's like on that train right now, right?
Yeah.
Have we done
to
that?
get
Working on
to
it.
get it there? Yeah.
Okay.
We have that.
So we're at the graveyard then? Okay.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have a conversation with the rail wraith.
Okay.
I'm gonna come up
Yep.
to him.
Love this guy.
Hey, I've got a proposition for you.
I'm listening.
I've been thinking, and I've talked to the group.
Yeah.
We want to purpose you a mech that runs off of a train engine, and maybe to give you a little more freedom off the rails. In return, that you help us out when we need it.
I only know like 4 of those words mean, but I mean.
You will look like us, but in metal.
Like a cyborg.
He knows cyborg, but not
Yeah, yeah.
mech.
He learned it from T. Yeah, alright.
We'll have an extra car with a bunch of scrap metal and whatever we can find here. And we'll work on it as we go.
I like this plan. I like it a lot. I'm gonna be a little metal man walking around.
Well,
I've never walked before. Only ever rolled. Can't wait.
We'll get you used to it. We'll make it real easy for you to use.
I can't wait for this. Man, where have you guys been? Where are we going? We going somewhere?
It's a good question.
Am I gonna be pulling stuff this time?
Yes.
Awesome. I love pulling stuff. Otherwise, I'm just kind of going. So, where to?
Adelaide will look to Buck.
And I did it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I suppose it's
So,
somewhere to start.
We got 2 names to go. We got Bill Winchester, whoever the hell that
Yeah,
is. Doesn't
yeah.
ring a. In clarification, does not ring a bell for Buck.
No.
No family lineage that he is currently aware of. No other name that his dad would go by for some odd reason and not change his last name.
Yeah, if you were gonna change the name, it would be
Why?
the
Correct. Yeah.
He'd be like,
Just
he's like,
Bill!
who hired you? Sam Adams. Be like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great guy.
So Bill Winchester and then Admiral Patrick McConnell.
Do we know where the admiral is today?
I don't.
Because Carol hasn't been around for the prior explanations. Go ahead and make a history test on Admiral Patrick McCullough.
16
Yeah,
plus
mastery.
mastery.
Let's go, baby. Oh, yeah.
Come on.
2, 8, plus 5.
That was a lot of numbers.
20
16,
23.
2, 8 plus 5.
Sorry, 23.
God. 23. Yeah, so a couple things ring true for you. The Vanguard Academy is where a subset of soldiers would get trained. It's kind of like going to like the Officers Academy if you're in military school. You're going to have a little bit of an easier time, maybe some nepotism involved. Not to talk down on anybody, I'm just simplifying a complicated issue. So that school would have been part of the sort of Ciderland college circuit. So if you're going into the military, which back in the Sidran Empire is kind of a big deal. It's a sign of status. It's a way to make a name for yourself. If you live and retire well, you get a plot of land and a house, and they take care of you. Among those who have passed through the Vanguard Academy, somebody who would be around your age and would be a big name would be that admiral, whose name is Patrick McConnell. He's notable in that there are not many Sidran military companies that did extended work in Carcasso inland. A lot of the times it was posting up a navy out on the seas and just keeping them grounded so they couldn't get help, but also making sure that nobody fled to Ciderland to then cause problems back at home. So it's a very Revolutionary War setup. You've got the British blockading. You've got the Americans that are just fighting because you're here. But Patrick McConnell is known for assembling something known as the Ancillary Strike Team, which was a big deal in Ciderland during the wartime. These guys are effectively like the Green Berets. They're very notable. They're maybe closer to to put it in our terms, they would be like SEAL Team 6. They are sent in to do a job, and they always succeed, regardless of casualties to themselves, anybody else, or anyone around them. They don't fail. They get the job done one way or another. So Patrick McConnell has a massive reputation back in Ciderland for getting the job done no matter the cost, which makes him extremely unpopular with parents of soldiers and extremely popular with anybody that just wants something done and done right in their own ways. So in Ciderland, big name for anybody older than probably 25. So Adelaide might be hit or miss. I would leave it up to you if you don't follow current events back in Ciderland. You probably have heard the name, almost certainly, but everything else would just be no context to it kind of deal. But that would be context for that.
To take a page out of Callum's book, you could perhaps put out a missive requesting information, or pretend to be a Bill Winchester and see who comes to visit him.
We could do the same with Gavrilo for any family members of soldiers. Hellkite soldiers that have fallen.
That's putting a
Put out the word.
target, though, just out in the open.
Just what he can. Not high
No.
expectations.
I'm not saying for Gavrilo.
Oh.
I'm saying for us. We're literally just might as well just shoot a flare up and saying, "Hey, I'm right here."
Well, why don't we go back to Fletcher's Roost? We can pick a job, send out your letter,
That sounds good.
and then head on out.
Take a look at the job board again.
Yeah.
It seems like every time we look at it, there's something new or a clue or something.
Yeah, and you're buddies with the bartender there. You might be able to ask if he knows any of these people. So I think we'll see if the train's been ready to go. Load up.
I'll allow you guys could have been having that conversation
Oh,
while
yeah,
we're
cool,
doing
cool.
while
yeah.
you're fixing it up and looking around for stuff, and
That makes sense.
it takes a little bit of time for Railwraith to kind of weld the bits back on. If you were to head back towards any of those various job posting boards, a lot of them have been not necessarily taken down, but kind of stamped as completed or just pasted over with another one. There are still a few things for various rat catcher jobs on any of the smaller farms in the Fields districts. So you've got Idleguard Farms, Half Rock Mill, Fair Lane Mill, Kleinfeller, any of those places for both powder harvests and removal of various species of Riftkin. Most commonly, it'll be a cablast because they'll move into wherever you're growing your crops and just completely take over. It's an invasive species of plant. There are a few postings, recruitment posters for the Tal'Kuri Enclave.
Hmm.
With the same wolf skull, ruby in the eye socket, breathing fire. And there is still the sort of bizarro one for Highdale Farm, where mysterious occurrences necessitate the employment of investigators capable of self-defense and lacking self-preservation instincts in the face of overwhelming or unknowable threats and dangers. Contact Mr. or Mrs. Highdale for more information. 30 gold available for a complete resolution of circumstances. Pricing negotiable for information leading to a decrease in frequency of disturbances.
That sounds like something for you, T. You love getting into a spot of danger. Have you seen one of these before, Dr. Carroll? And I will show Dr. Carroll let me get the correct name real quick. The spark bangle that I acquired.
A spark bangle?
Yes. Have you seen one of these before?
Not in real life.
Only in the picture book.
Yeah,
What does it look like?
I got one yesterday from a farmer. It's a device that I wear on my hand.
Oh, it's a device?
Yes.
Oh.
And it will collect energy from a specific species of Riftkin and allow me to cultivate a spark that would then grow and develop into that Riftkin.
Well, that's impressive. What are your plans to try it out on?
I don't know, but to be honest, looking at some of these missions has my interest piqued. If they would be a lot of a singular species, it would be a decent testing ground for it. But I don't want to hold up the group, because this is obviously much less important than finding Buck's wife.
It's hard to argue with.
I was just curious if you had seen one before and if this seemed like an appropriate measure of testing.
I think your approach is sound. I think you'll find some nice dividends by going that route.
I like that sentence. It makes me feel successful.
I'll head down to the tavern area and I'll speak with the bar boys.
Bar boys! Colt and Zeke,
Yes, sir.
always there. They work
Um,
30 hours a day.
Which one was it that gave me the information on the Hellkite?
That'd have been Zeke.
Zeke?
Zeke's the one that you asked to keep an eye on.
Okay, well then I will talk with Zeke again. Hey, Zeke, quick question for you.
Shoot.
Anybody come in here by the name of Bill Winchester? Anything like that?
Don't think so.
Okay.
I don't catch a lot of last names out here, though.
No worries. If you, because I don't want to put a job posting out on this, but if anything comes across for a Maria Winchester or a Bill Winchester, something that happens to be said in here about that, let me know. Any and all information, I'll pay handsomely.
Sure. I'll keep an ear out. They, friends of yours, or?
Maria's my wife. And the Bill
Right,
Winchester
right.
is a mystery. I'm not familiar with that person.
Mystery man.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just keep an ear out.
Will do.
I appreciate you, sir.
Right back to it.
Yeah, and I'll just join the rest of the group wherever they're at or might be doing.
Squad.
Help us get rid of the herd of insert Riftkin here. You said most of them are Cablast.
Yeah, a vast majority of farms.
Have Cablast issues.
Yeah, a Cablast will show up, and then suddenly there's like 2, and then 4, and
Yeah.
then 16, and then they propagate very, very quickly by just infecting other crops. And like, yay, be a Cablast now, and they're like, I'm here.
Well, that's something that you want to do. That's quick, easy coin, but keep in mind, we're going to lose 16% of that, 3 gold that we're going to get for whatever it may be?
I mean, if I'm being 100% honest, I'm not really doing that job for the coin. And I would imagine if we're out gathering info, that would be more valuable than the 3 gold we would get. But whatever would be the best avenue in achieving your goal quickest, I think, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I think we're in agreement that that's,
That's the top priority.
yes.
I mean, if they're here, it's better to stay here. I'm not going to take any rare lines. I'd rather walk the streets and see what I see, and if I see any Hellkites, follow sort of thing. So if we're on our way there and I happen to see something and I wander off a bit, I do apologize. So but I'm gonna kind of be on the walk around bit. You guys are more than welcome to take the train wherever you guys need, of course. But I think I'm gonna stick to good old boots
Well,
while we're here.
at some point, I need to get down to the tomb of Hezekiah the Sage. So I'd like to take the train if I can to Ravensong and head off from there.
Some say she's my wife.
But that's a story for another time.
As soon as I get a lick of any information on where Maria might be and if it's in that direction, 100%. Or if I happen to find her and rescue her before you need to take off and do your thing, I'm with you 110%. I'll go wherever you need me to go as long as I can get my wife back.
I appreciate it, Buck. Does anybody else want to go down there now? Or
I wouldn't be totally against it.
we can try and find some Riftkin for you along the way?
Oh, just looking to study, but it'd be super interesting to see what's in the tomb, both alive and relic. Sure, same as you.
And T, I know you had some interest in the tomb.
I do. I'm torn between the bit of that horn I feel like is significant. However, I also am determined to find the Hellkites as well.
True.
What's this bits and pieces of this horn supposed to do? Or what, like...
That is the question, my friend. We have some that believe it'll cause pain and suffering if reassembled properly, and some that'll be ushering in a new era of, yield.
Which camp do you fall in, Dr. Carroll?
I don't think it's up for me to decide. I think I am merely the one on a mission to put it back together.
So how about this? How about we take the next day or two, maybe gather some intel, do a quick job for your little thing, and then if nothing comes up,
We'll head to the tomb.
head to your tomb.
Fantastic.
What are the options? I know they're mostly the
cabbage?
same, but if there's different farm names
Yes.
something?
So, Highdale Farms would be
Okay.
the oddities. Just something is going on and they would like some help with it.
Okay.
There's Cablast removal on Idleguard Farms. Has
Okay.
a specific mention of, please get rid of these Cablasts. There
Okay.
are so many. There are two that mention Glokists,
Okay.
and those would be on... They'd be on Kleinfeller Mill and Halfrock Mill, which are also places looking for a Poworm harvest.
It seems we have an option between Cablast and Glokist. So we have some plant Riftkin or some insect Riftkin. Does anyone have an particular sway one way or the other?
I do like leafy greens.
Okay.
To Idleguard it is.
Or we can split and do both, cover more ground. One goes with the Cablast, the other one goes for the Glokis.
We could do half rock and double dip there anyway with the Poworm harvest.
I wouldn't mind doing the Poworm. I mean, familiar with them to some regard, and shoot, if I can get one, I got infinite ammo almost.
That could come in handy.
All right, let's
Sounds like a plan to
let's
me.
go there then. Sorry, T. Maybe we can go there after.
T's like, I'm gonna beat you up, Adelaide. You're like, I didn't even suggest it. Like, yeah, but you thought it. You put the idea in sweet Callum's brain. You're twisting him to your devices. I'm onto you.
All right, well, that wasn't the enthusiasm I was expecting. So let's go to Half Rock and we'll investigate the Glocus.
Yeah, walking south towards Half Rock Mill. It's not too long of a walk outside the walls, shall we say. So you're not going too terribly far. Keeping your eyes and ears peeled. What a weird sentence. Keeping your senses aware, shall we say. Most of you don't catch anything out of the ordinary. Fair amount of foot traffic. Fair amount of stuff going on. A couple pigsties run by at one point. It's just a bit of an oddity. But the further south you go, the more things start to open up. Faraday would be the most dialed in given last night's events. There are a few individuals dressed in the Talcuri colors, which would be black and silver, which, given their recruitment notices, tells you they're probably looking to make a slightly more permanent mark on Fletcher's Roost. So you do see a few of those individuals. Not the same child that you've been seeing, and nobody that looks particularly out of place. They just look like workaday mercenaries. But otherwise, nobody that particularly draws the eye or makes you suspicious of them, any more so than any other stranger on the street. But as you walk down, Half Rock Mills, probably an hour walk outside of city grounds. It's nothing too crazy, but you would start to see those Poworm farms. And in addition, where you would normally expect to see crop growth, you see just like barren, eaten up fields with just like scraps of wheat left over. Well, arriving at the Half Rock Mill, you see the chewed up, gobbled fields. You see many, many acres of fruit trees with a bunch of little gray worms kind of nestled up in the branches. It's a positively glistening layer of powder on the soil underneath all those trees. But on approach, there is a fella out in the fields wearing some very simple, dirty clothes, looking out at his ravaged farmland, kind of straightens a hat, continues plowing the devoured soils, sees you all approach. Good afternoon.
Greetings.
What can I do for you?
We saw your missive on the board for a request of assistance.
We put a couple of those out. What in particular are you here to help with?
I mean, we know of the two. Are there more than just the two? We know of I guess should be specific. The Glocust issues and the Poworm harvesting. Are there more beyond that?
None worth paying for. But which one are you more inclined to deal with? Or is it both?
I don't see why we can't do both.
Well, which one you want to do first?
I'll let you take the
Do
lead.
we want to divide and conquer, or do one then the other?
I think Divine Conquer would
yeah.
be fine. I'm very familiar with Poworms and their production of gunpowder.
Question. For the Spark Bangle, do they have to be defeated to collect that, or can you just
You spend time
ambiently-
around them.
Okay. So
Like if you were to hang out with Redtail,
yeah.
you would accumulate some degree of charge over several days,
Okay.
weeks, months. But if you were to spend time around like 40 Cablasts, you'd probably fill that in like 2 days. It's just the ambient energy that they're giving off.
Gotcha.
Now, if you were to take battery charge and like plug it in,
You'd go faster.
you could do it faster.
Okay. Well, with the intention of trying this device out, we have the ability to potentially cultivate a spark of the Glocust or Poworm variety. Would anyone be inclined to have one of those on their teams? And then I would pick that job for myself.
I'm interested in the Poworm a little bit. Try out this taming thing.
Oh, you want to like tame one of them?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Is that an option? This with all these Poworms, sir? Is if I could possibly take one off your hands if it's not.
You won't take one of the 3,000 worms on the trees?
I mean, I didn't know. I don't know if it's on your property or not, so I don't want to be taking something that's not yours, or that is yours. Excuse me.
I don't care.
Okay.
Powder gets made all the same. Just be safe out there.
Always.
Don't be causing sparks or a ruckus. You blow up my farm, we're gonna have a problem.
Don't intend to. I used to run one myself.
What?
All right, let's do this.
So, those of you looking to
Our
eliminate the
three-year
Glocusts.
stack on Glocus.
There are 6 Glocusts chewing up the field. They are munching feet of crops per minute.
Wow.
We better get cracking.
Godspeed. Do what you will.
Where do Glocusts live?
Where do they live?
I
Yes.
think here.
They have set up
Like-
shop in the farm.
Naturally, do they
found
live
a
underground?
source of food. I don't
Naturally,
know.
they just kind of
Trees.
like clear cut a farm, usually also including the house and the pipes and everything that is there,
They eat
Okay.
metal
and then they will move on.
as well.
Okay.
Yes. Part of why they are called Glocusts and brass hoppers is they will eat the copper and brass fittings of the houses that they move through, and their body can't do anything with it, so it just hardens on the outside of their body. So, those of you going after the Glocusts, what you playing?
I
was
send
spitballing
out Red
ideas.
Tail, and I run into where they are in the field, and
Okay.
I start trying to activate my spark bangle and just pointing it in directions,
Well, he's at it.
trying to collect energy.
You there! I got a power ring out of my box of Wheaties. Come here. Okay. So you hold the spark bangle out.
Yeah,
Nothing immediately changes, but you're
Okay.
just
yeah. It didn't come with an instruction manual, so I'm trying.
Yeah, it did not.
Trying to suss it out.
yeah. It's pretty sus. Emergency meeting. I saw Callum vent.
Okay.
Okay. So you run out there with Red Tail. Is Red Tail doing anything?
Red Tail is just being a cat and is like pouncing on him.
We are trying to like surround them a little bit if we can.
Okay.
So
Kind of
trying
like
to,
corral them.
Yeah, go on the other side of it and.
Okay. You guys have surrounded the Glocusts quite
Just
vaguely
eating.
in a wide circle. They are just eating through the crops. They'll eventually reach where Carol is. Kind of like bump into your leg.
I'll pull out my rifle.
Well, you're on the wrong farm, brother. And it's just like, tell them about the rabbits. Okay.
Oh my god.
And I'll
Well,
pull the trigger.
oh my god! You're just gonna shoot
He's
him?
executing.
As we're walking away, all we hear is, good God.
Okay, go ahead and roll
Well.
an attack.
Oh man.
The bullet, for better and worse, will just like ricochet off the outside carapace of the bug, and it kind of just like flies over to where the bullet landed. It just goes.
It ate
It just
it.
eats the bullet.
Wow.
That's incredible. Are we feeding them or deleting them?
Well, I
Yes.
tried to delete them, but
It didn't work.
I tried Control Alt Delete, but it didn't get me out of a jam.
Are we gonna tussle?
Mm-hmm.
You wanna?
We are.
tussle?
Oh, I don't
Okay.
know. Whatever you think.
Well, I mean, if a gun can't take it out.
I will swing my cardboard sword.
Okay, so go ahead and swing your cardboard sword, then we'll jump into a quick combat.
Okay.
5.
To hit,
Yeah.
he just bounces off the side, and the Glocust is like,
It's not metal. It is
Impenetrable.
cardboard.
no, I know.
No, I'm telling the Glocust.
Yeah, but it just goes.
Yeah. It's not metal. You don't want to eat it.
We've rolled initiative. You can take your quick draw shot if you want to, Carol. On account of we've rolled initiative. If you want to try again, you can shoot him. You go. Oh, we are fighting. I was just seeing what would happen.
I think I'll pass on that.
Okay. Then T, you'll be starting us off.
Okay. Fizz will do a shrimp snap on the closest.
Fizz, you try to shrimp snap one of these, and they're just so tiny and kind of pudgy and adorable. But to Fizz, they're several orders of magnitude larger than you, because they stand at 2 feet tall, and you are. So you try to snap and pop at one of these things, and it doesn't really seem to notice or care. One Glocust spinneth around and leaps towards Carol's gun.
Oh no.
He's gonna try to eat your gun.
Oh no!
20.
Yeah! As he eats it, it is in his mouth.
It is going to launch itself towards Carol, and that is an 18 to strike Carol.
Oh wow.
You are thankfully not a plant or magical plant or a wooden structure, so you don't suffer additional damage.
Not today, just maybe tomorrow though.
The day you become a tree folk is the day it's over for you. That is max damage though. That is 6 points of insect damage to
Wow.
Carol.
That would have done 12 to the whittled Carol piece from the train set.
Gone. Another of them will lunge towards Callum.
Leave me alone.
You hit it with a cardboard sword, or at least you tried to. 12 to hit Callum.
That hits.
Okay. Callum, you take 5.
Oh.
5 points of insect damage as they lunge at you and start munching.
This was a bad idea.
Callum, you're up next.
Callum's going to swing his cardboard short sword at the one in front of him
Cardboard
again.
short sword.
Oh, wow.
That went on a journey.
Yeah, it really did. 17 to hit.
That hits. Strike them, Callum. Strike them down.
4 damage.
Okay.
And because I dealt max damage, they take that at the end of their turn, half that much. So they take another 2.
Yeah.
And because it's fast, I'm going to hit him again. An 11 to hit this time.
Hits. Exactly.
For another 1 point of damage.
You kill one of them.
Hey, okay. I'm
Nice.
going to immediately try to absorb the energy that it produces into my bangle and or battery, depending on
Okay.
the appropriate.
Does Callum have any charge in his battery listed
No.
anywhere? Okay.
Adelaide does.
Okay,
Callum
you
does
gain
not.
a charge of insect energy.
Okay.
So that's Callum.
Yes,
Your
Red
Red Tail.
Tail is also
Going to kill one.
yes. He's going to illuminating leap at a nearby Glocust. They roll so far 13
Hits.
to hit,
Yes. Yes.
4 radiant damage.
Another one down. Excellent work, Red Tail. One of the other ones is going to fling itself towards Callum. It just lunges through the air with reckless Abaddon.
Sorry, we knocked it out though.
Yes.
I'm going to absorb more energy.
You get another charge.
Yes.
Yes. It's coming for you, Callum.
We know you're
It's
the
5.
Energizer Bunny now.
It's a 5.
Yes.
It leaps into your back, and it just kind of collides with like the soft, cushy space between your backpack and you, so you just barely feel it. Carol, start blast.
Can I do like? Well, can I hide my gun first?
If you want to, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that back in my holster, I guess, wherever it goes. And then could I do like an awareness test to understand, like, is there anything to trap these in around me, like that I could
So
use?
you're currently in a big open field, but I'm open to ideas. If you can think of something that might be on or near a farm.
Yeah, totally. I know these things that are on farms.
Yeah.
I'm
grab
thinking
a
of like
hay bale
a
and Scooby-Doo him into the
wheelbarrow.
middle.
A wheelbarrow could be nice.
Yeah. And try to
I
like
could eat it.
tip it over on top of him to catch him
You
under
could
there.
eat the bug.
Just eat the bug.
barrel.
Oh.
Oh, the
Wheelbarrow.
barrow. That's true.
Quick
If
tip
it's
when you're done with a
metal.
glass
I
bottle.
could.
Maybe like a wagon that I could like finesse.
I mean, a wagon might be a little bit of work, but a wheelbarrow is reasonable.
I do
Go
have an
try a
idea.
wheelbarrow.
If you can lure them, I could create a pit. In
I
the
like
earth.
this idea.
You have
Okay.
to lure them over there.
So I will. Can I take out like, I guess a bullet, and toss it towards T so that she could potentially surround it with a
Okay.
trap.
Yeah, they all go. And they see that little scrap of metal in an otherwise empty field. They seem pretty excited about it.
That's great.
Is Asiago out?
Asiago's out. Yeah.
Okay. What does Asiago want to do?
Asiago's gonna go after one of them.
Asiago craves violence.
With a beak buffet.
Yes.
Yes. the best
This
move.
really is gonna
best
be a
name
fun
move. I like it.
17
Oh yeah,
plus, what is it?
yeah. No, that's
That'll
good.
do.
Plus 2?
Yeah,
Okay.
That'll
that's very good. Give you
do.
some damage.
His style says healer.
5.
But the rolls.
He's a harm
killer.
assist.
He's a harm assist.
Yeah, because that's gonna knock out another
Never seen
Nice.
of these Glaucus.
I collect it.
Okay. The final remaining Glaucus is going to fling itself towards the bullet and by proxy towards T. So T,
Okay.
you have an attack roll coming at you.
Okay.
That is a 10 to hit you.
Where's my? Yes. No.
Never mind then. So it will land near you and not impact, and instead just start munching on a bullet. T, it's your turn.
I'm gonna try to create a pit around it, like have the earth.
Okay. You know what to do, and you know what happens when you fail.
15.
15.
Yes.
Okay. So a pit will appear and give you a little 5 foot, and it just goes, and it just sinks down and it's still just eating the bullets. The bottom of the pit. Yeah, that's that. Is Fizz doing anything?
How many are left then?
Just the one in
Two
the
out,
pit.
two
Oh,
outside the pit.
just kidding.
two outside. Okay, so I'll go after one of the ones outside of the pit.
I grossly miscounted.
He is
There
going
were,
to
there were 6. Now there were.
again attempt a shrimp snap. That's
That's
gonna
a
be
lot better.
17 to hit.
That's much better. That
Nice.
hits.
Okay. Let's see.
Go.
3.
3.
Yep.
Okay. This one. Oh. Wait. Roll an additional die.
An additional die?
Yeah, because you're doing.
Storm to air.
Oh, okay. That's gonna be
Took me a
6
second to remember.
altogether.
6 altogether.
Yes.
That one is like fried. Like lightning just courses through its body and it arcs through. It's
Does
literally
all its
made
skin
of
come
like
off?
no,
Oh.
but it's made of copper, and you're like conduct this, and it's just and you go choo choo. As that one fries and fizzles and pops.
And is gone.
Yeah.
So I collect it.
Yeah.
God.
I'm just gonna
Just so you
gonna
know.
assume that you're doing it, but it's good that you're saying
I
it
want
to get
it
us
on
in the
the
habit.
record.
Get us in the habit.
Yes.
So that's T and Fizz. Callum.
Yes.
There's
Callum.
one more outside of the pit.
Yes. Callum is going to try to hit it with a short sword.
I'm
For
gonna
a
smack him.
natural 20 critical hit, baby.
Just gone.
Probably. If he rolls higher than a 2.
I did, because it's +1, so 3,
Double the 6.
and then I'll attack him again.
Because
for
it
fun.
would be your die doubled plus your might, but if you rolled a 1, it would be a
4.
2 plus 1 is 3.
So 5.
So 5 total.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first strike, despite being incredible, just kind of like smacks off the top, and then you're like, no, it's supposed to be a sword, and you kind of smack into it and knock him unconscious. So you have one Glaucus left, and it's in a hole.
I collect it.
Okay. Very good.
Connected.
So you're up to 5
Yes.
insect charges.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Red Tail will do the same. But I was going to collect this energy to like make a spark and like create one. And then you could train that one.
Oh, okay.
Because it would be stronger in the long run.
Yes.
Alright.
However, if you want to tame the one in the pit,
I
I will
see.
back off.
I didn't know
No,
that's how it
I don't need a organic one. I can have a lab grown.
That's the best way to describe it.
An 11
Hits
from Red
exactly.
Tail to hit 5 radiant damage.
5 is more than 4 as you dispatch the final member of the
And
Glaucus swarm and
it.
collect it. With that, you've dispatched the final Glaucus with alarming rapidity. You guys did that in like 13 minutes. That's one of our fastest
if push
combats.
comes to shove, I'm sure in some downtime we could go to Kleinfeller and knock out their Glaucus
Yeah.
as well.
Do you also have
Simple
Glaucus?
enough.
I'm looking to kill them. I mean,
Collect.
I'm here to help.
I'm here
yeah,
to collect.
I'm here to collect
I
them.
collect it.
I'm here to severely
Yes.
massacre the entire Glaucus
So
lineage.
that I can create one.
Just so you guys know, watching
For
can no
science.
longer have Glaucus as a Riftkin.
Yeah, they
They're
are
gone.
extinct. Okay, so from among those baddies, because you keep asking about their body parts, somebody roll me a d4.
Or what?
A
D4.
Okay.
Somebody roll a d4.
I'll do it.
He's looking for body parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, the exoskeleton. 2!
Okay. You find 2 segments of copper carapace.
Okay.
It is both organic and metal, highly conductive of storm energy. Bear that in mind. Any project that you might use these for will be vulnerable to storm damage because it will conduct very, very nicely.
Okay.
Those of you harvesting Poworms,
Sir, yes, sir.
I have 2 questions for you. How long are you going to harvest Poworm powder for? Because you're being paid by the pound of Poworm that you harvest. However, the powder itself is extremely volatile, so you got to go kind of slow. And it's very, very lightweight. So, but if you just like scoop it too fast and you make too much friction,
You'll burn
just
away.
explode.
Yeah.
So how long do you
I'm
go?
I'll let these two probably collect probably more than what Buck would, because Buck's actually gonna look for a Poworm to tame.
Okay.
But in doing so, I will collect. But Buck's looking for the biggest, chunkiest one that produces the most.
Heimlich.
Yeah, essentially, I'm looking for.
I am a beautiful Puma.
Does the farmer give us any equipment to help collect?
For collection of this stuff, he would offer you like thick gloves, but beyond that, no.
Like no bags or anything like that to put the Poworm powder in?
That would make sense. Yeah, you
Okay.
give it back.
Okay, because I was thinking.
You gotta have something to put it in.
Walk it over.
There
If
you go.
you really lean on
You
it,
drop it,
Faraday.
it just goes.
Because Faraday was gonna put like something on Runt so that he can kind of scoop it
Like some
as he walks,
Nice.
a little plow
Nice.
kind
Yeah.
of deal.
plowing a little bit, just to kind of help him train. You know,
Smart.
get him a little stronger.
Smart.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it. I like it. I dig it. Okay, so for the 2 full-time powder gatherers, I'll say Runt can roll an additional one of these.
Okay.
I would love for the both of yous to
Powder
roll
check.
me for Adelaide. Give me 2d8. For Faraday, give me 3d8. And then for Buck, give me 1 if you're spending most of your time looking for.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna spend most of my time looking.
Okay, and then we'll do totals in a second. So Adelaide, how'd you do?
11.
11. Okay. We're gonna do some math in a second, but
6.
6. Oh wow.
Dose.
2. Okay. So between the 2 of you, you've got almost halfway to a pound.
Where it was like,
Actually, you're exactly halfway to a
grams.
pound. Those ounces of powder that you're gathering.
so didn't we get? I got 11.
Between
You
the
got-
2 of them, they got
Oh.
half of what you need. You've
Gotcha.
got more than half.
Yeah,
So if you were to pool your resources, you get a collective
guys,
1 pound 3 ounces.
you got 1 pound.
which,
a lot.
which in the essence of like
Yeah.
very lightweight fine powder, is a ton of powder. And you manage not to explode.
That's always nice.
Yes.
Just hear a giant boom.
It would just be the entire countryside. Because it's all flammable. So from that, that would be 1 pound 3 ounces. You're being paid 8 silver per pound. So we're going to call it 9 silver. Call it even. So 9 silver for that. For the removal of the Glokists, we are talking... It's 2 silver per creature that you dispatched. So that's 1 gold and 2 silver total. And then for getting rid of all of them, it's additional 5. So
Okay.
6 gold and 2 silver. Plus the 9 silver is technically 7 gold and 1 silver.
Whoa. So is that like $7.10?
Effectively.
Okay.
Is what you've done.
Oh.
But Sinclair's going
I'm
to take
doing
their
the
cut
math.
of
He's
both.
doing it right
I'm
now.
doing the math.
So take your cuts individually of both.
So after everything, before we dispatch it, what's left? After they take their cut, what's left of it?
So you're going
6
to
gold.
take...
6
Yeah.
gold?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we split.
That's
That
a gold
worked
for
out
everybody.
so
It is a
well.
gold.
What a weird amount of
16%.
math.
We got 1 gold.
I'm a future seer and I did the math.
16%. We all get 1 gold.
You're
You
welcome.
get $7.10. Like, what a weird number. 16% of that is $1 each. What?
There you go. So that shakes out. You've done 2 jobs for Half Rock Mill.
Are you not catching your thing?
That was good, but I'll let you do thing.
Make your tame check real quick.
Do it. Do
Make your
it.
tame check real quick. On the
Do it.
chonkiest
Go
of
buck,
chonk
go
worms.
buck.
Chunky?
Yeah, there is a beefcake of a poworm though that you were looking for because you said you wanted a big one. So
Yeah.
You're taking his
Trained
blue
anymore.
ribbon State Farm Poworm.
yeah. So ordinarily they're 4 to 6 inch long worms that weigh just under a pound. You find like a 9-inch long worm and it weighs just under a pound. It's a big chonker of a worm though.
Cool. Yeah.
And it's just kind of sat there and it's just eating this huge collection of leaves. Never breaks eye contact. He was just
Yeah.
it's just there's just like sap and ooze from the tree that it's eating.
Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah, Buck's kind of just trying his best to find that connection that Faraday was kind of like explaining as best as he can, and it's just super awkward and weird like the entire time. Like he's like, I'm talking to an animal. And he's just
Talking to a
trying this
worm.
out, but from his time on his like family powder mill where it all started, where he spent his summers, he just uses his collective knowledge of like the powder and how they're produced and tries to find some sort of connection with his past that kind of allows for this attempt to possibly happen.
yeah. 58 is, long story short, quite sufficient. This guy is happy in his lane, moisturized, well fed.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Snack time's the perfect time to tame.
So
Yeah.
I pull out my gun. And that's
Carol's
my riff.
Carol's like, yeah, wait, the powder. You pull your gun and you're like, all right, find a connection. I'd also like to eat. And the worm's like,
and I'll shift it and just be like,
and it just disappears from the tree branch.
you know, just kind of like wait for like anything bad to happen. And after like a minute or two, he's like, wow, that was easy. And I'll holster it and I'll make my way back to the crew.
Okay. All right. Well, money in hand, a gold for each of you after a pretty short day's work. Not too bad, honestly. All things considered. We'll pan our camera to the sky. But before we breach the clouds, a few things are going to occur. Somewhere in the wide expanse of Fletcher's Roost, under a building that looks condemned, as a few of the doors recently reattached. Many of the ramshackle windows have been further boarded over. And a few individuals stand guard outside. Possible trigger warning. Just full disclosure. I'm going to gloss over a lot of this, but there are lines and lines of human-sized cages. And held therein are countless similar-looking individuals, both men and women, all in the same general age group, falling around their 30s, most of which have shorter hair, many of which it's either been dyed or painted to look white and catch a glimpse of purple, maybe even silver or pink under specific lighting. They are all chained in place so that they are kept on their knees, and they are gagged and their fingers are bound together to prevent them from casting any sort of spells. There are about a dozen members of the Galahorn Coalition holding a sketch of a particular person and comparing it to each member held in this space. And as the coalition members march from cage to cage, as they continue to rule out false positives, they are dispatching those that do not match the description perfectly. Several bodies have been stacked in a corner of these false reports. And as some of you may remember, The Gjallarhorn Coalition specifically has been looking for someone with the power to shape Earth for several weeks now. And the bounty has been increasing and increasing and increasing. Desperate people will do desperate things. People have been turning in their neighbors, their friends, and their family to make some quick money, and perhaps altering certain individuals to make them look more like the person these people are seeking. And among this group is a woman in her 30s, eyes down, trying not to be noticed, who is currently in the process of using a bobby pin to undo her handcuffs. As Maria Winchester is 5 or 6 cages away from the individuals moving cage to cage. And as she gets one of her hands free, the cage door swings open. And one of the Gjallarhorn Coalition soldiers unfurls the poster, blocking his view of her for a few seconds. There's a clatter, a few gunshots, and we'll see you next week.